Welcome, I'm Maybe Crafter. Today I am going to make a special project. I am making a gift for my sister-in-law. It's going to be some Nightmare Before Christmas cups. I hope you enjoy. So first I drew out all the designs that I was going to use, and in this case I picked the 4 major characters that I think stand out the most from Nightmare Before Christmas, and I might have considered also the ones that I thought I could draw the best. So I looked on Pinterest and I found some good references, and then while looking at the references, I sketched out with pencil my 4 separate characters. The characters that I chose were Oogie Boogie, Jack Skellington, Sally, and Zero. The first thing I did was I got out my 4 cups and I rubbed them down with alcohol wipes because that helps the paint adhere, because it gets rid of any grease that might be on the surface from handling them and things like that. And these cups were especially easy to draw on and paint on because they have kind of a matte surface, and so that kind of scratchy surface really helped the paint adhere to them. If you don't have matte finish cups, you could do a light sanding on them, just kind of rough up the surface. I've also seen people use Mod Podge. They'll paint the whole surface of the ceramic with Mod Podge, and that helps give it something to grip to. So I really enjoyed these mugs. I thought that the type I picked was really good because it matched with kind of the mood of the movie. That black matte outside with the shiny red inside just really popped. These mugs were actually originally bought for a project for our sister channel, Heck in the Y, my husband and daughter's gaming channel. But I made the ones that I needed them for, and then I had these left over, and they were just kind of sitting and taking up a room. And I was like, oh, well, I could make some mugs with those. I think that'd be nice. And then they get them out of my craft boarding supply. And I thought these were especially easy to work with because they did have the matte finish. The matte finish really does make it easier to paint on, because if you've ever tried to paint on ceramic mugs, the paint wants to chip off, and sometimes no matter how much sealant you put on them, they still chip or paint wears off. And so I didn't have to do any kind of prep with these, and that paint's on there for good. For these, I used mostly Poscas. First, I would go ahead and outline the drawing, my pencil sketch with the Posca that I wanted to use for his outline. For Jack, since he's already black and the cups are black, I used gray, and basically just used the Posca pen to sketch out my outlines and fill in some of the base colors. I did have to let these dry, and then I went in with my second coats. And after about 2 coats of the Poscas, I was finally able to go in and add the details. My favorite part of this was doing the details, just because it gave a lot of life to the drawings, and they really started popping once I got the details. I could really see how well they were gonna come out. And on the back of the cups, I decided to put in lines from the movie and found the ones that I thought were most representative of those characters. And of course, Zero, he's a dog, so his quote was woof. I was originally going to do a vinyl layer with my Cricut, but then I didn't want to have to get out my Cricut, and I didn't want to have to mess with it. I just wasn't in the mood, so I was like, well, maybe I'll see if I can draw them. I think it actually came out better drawing it. After I drew them, I did paint them with a layer of sealant, so that would keep them, they still have to be hand washed, but that would keep the paint from coming off or chipping off with use or with hand washing them. Now for Oogie Boogie, I wanted to use glow-in-the-dark paint for him, but then I forgot that I was going to do glow-in-the-dark paint with him, so just used my fluorescent green Posca pen instead. The first time I did Oogie, I really messed up his face. He just looked really bad. So I had to repaint the whole thing, because when I tried to paint over it, it just smeared. So then I had to wipe it off and try again. The second time I drew his face, it came out really good, and I was really happy with it.
Jackpot!
I like Oogie Boogie because I think his songs are some of the best in the movie, and I drew a little tiny dice in his hand. I considered putting bugs on him too, but I was afraid that it would be too cluttered and wouldn't look very good. I think my favorite part about the Nightmare Before Christmas movie is, one, the music, because the music is great in that movie, And I like the idea of, maybe you're feeling lost and you don't know what you want to do with your life and you're bored with where you are now. And I liked the idea that sometimes you just need to do something else for a little bit and it might reignite your passion for what you were originally doing. Maybe just because something you tried didn't go well doesn't mean that that's the end. Maybe you'll find something else that you like, or like I said, it'll reignite your passion for something that you used to love but got kind of bored with or stale in. I thought it was a really cute movie, and there's always the argument of, is it a Halloween movie or is it a Christmas movie? Kind of like the whole Die Hard argument. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie or is it not? In this household, we believe Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Now, Jack, I think, came out very good. Jack is very slim, and his hands were kind of hard because even with the fine point Poscas, it's kind of hard to do really tiny details. So when I was drawing the individual joints of his fingers, they just came out blobby. So then I had to just draw a white straight line and then just segment it with the black pen. And then that turned out better to where it actually kind of looked like skeletal hands. I love the stripes on his outfit. I think those came out really good. And I was amazed that I was actually able to draw a straight line, which is always a success. For Sally, I did a closer up view, whereas with all the others, I did a full body view. Partly that was because of the reference I had, and partly because I really suck at drawing legs and hands. So I didn't want to risk having to redraw her 10 times like I did with Oogie Boogie. So I focused on just a shoulders up kind of view on her. I think the most unique parts of Sally are her outfit because it's all stitched together just like she is. And so I think by focusing in on that shoulders above view, the focus becomes her outfit and the scars that she has. The saying on the back, I'm not sure that was actually in the movie, but a lot of people have associated that quote with her. And I just really liked it because it just conveyed how strong of a character Sally is, that despite everything she's been through, despite the abuse, because let's face it, she was abused by that scientist guy, she still persevered, she still stayed strong, and she did what she had to do to escape. Overall, I just really liked how Sally came out. She was really colorful, and she wasn't too hard to draw just because a lot of the shapes and things involved in Sally are very simplistic. But she just really, for being so simplistic, she came out really nice, and the colors just pop against that black mug. I also like how Sally, throughout the whole movie, was kind of there supporting Jack and being there for him. And I like how smart she was, that she was like, you know what, I don't want to be in this guy's house. I'm going to do what I can to get out. And just kept tricking him and didn't let him keep her from doing what she wanted to do. For Zero, he was the easiest to draw just because he's pretty much just a big white blob with some eyes and a collar. Now, you can't tell that his little nose is a pumpkin because it was so tiny, it was hard to get that detail in there. But believe me, there is a pumpkin face on his little nose. And I did have to outline him in black, but I also did a little gray on him just because otherwise the outline didn't stand out against the black cup. I really enjoyed this project. I enjoyed getting to draw and paint it out and see something that I had actually physically made come to life. My favorite had to be Oogie Boogie, because I just was very proud that I was able to draw him, and he just came out looking really good, and I love the saying on the back of his mug. Overall, I think this project turned out well. My sister-in-law loved him, which is what the most important part is. I would definitely do this again with a different set of characters because I just think it came out really cute, and it kind of made me feel really good about myself because I'm not the most experienced artist. I don't draw very often, but when I do, every little bit of improvement that I see in my drawing just from practicing, it makes me happy because there's just something so satisfying about finishing a project and looking down and knowing that you made that. It turned out really good, and other people are like, oh wow, that's really cool. And there's nothing like it. There's nothing like making something and seeing your vision come to life and have it actually be what you imagined. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe. I post every Friday, shorts on the first 3 weeks of the month, long video on the last Friday of the month. I make all kinds of different projects, clay, resin, sewing. Basically, if I see something I like or I have an idea for something that I want to do or have, I will think, I can make that. And then I try. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I hope you enjoyed what you saw and be back soon. Thanks. Bye.